Hey there, long time no see. Sorry if you can hear the dishwasher running in the background. I am an adult and I decided to turn it on right before recording a video. And I'm like, I don't know, a few yards away from it. Wasn't genius all around, but that's what we're doing. So there's gonna be 2 videos again this time. This is the Rambly update video. The other video is about a study I'm conducting. And I want you to participate. Yes, you. It doesn't matter who you are. Really. I want a whole bunch of different kind of people to participate in it. And if you're watching this video around the time it's posted, I would super appreciate if you check that out for detailed information and in brief. Because this video, I am going to talk about it some, but it's going to be rambly and a train wreck. Like, most of my videos usually are if you're familiar. But yeah, so let's do the train wreck. So I've had a few people ask me more about phenelzine, which is great. I love talking about it because yes, I am still taking it. I have increased my dose from 37.5 milligrams to 45, so half a pill a day. Basically, the longer you take it, the less you notice the side effects regardless of dose. At 37.5, I was having no side effects, and now at 45, I'm having no side effects. And yeah, I just feel a little bit even less anxious, and it's like, when you have this much anxiety, you can tell the marginal differences, they count. And at this point, I will say also occasionally I am taking an extra pill, so 60 milligrams on certain days when my brain is being really spicy and I have something really stressful to deal with. I've not been having to do that a ton, which is great, but it does help. And again, it's one of those things where I'd say if you're taking the med, if you get more acclimated to it, you can be more flexible about that sort of thing over time and not have to worry about side effects at all. So in short, if you have anxiety, you've never found a med that helps you, I still strongly recommend you give it a shot. With all the same caveats about how it might be somewhat difficult to get your doctor to prescribe it. There are side effects to deal with depending on the dose. Watch my other 2 videos if you're interested. But complete endorsement. I think it is, I think it's the best anxiety med that presently exists. At least for social anxiety. I'm not saying for panic attacks or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, what else have I been actually up to that's changing? I'm in school. I told you I was in school. Nothing super changed, but it's going really well. I'm basically going through it as fast as I can, undergrad that is. I would go faster if they would let me, to be honest, but it's going pretty well. I think I'm going to be able to graduate in the spring. In the last video I mentioned I wasn't sure if it'd be spring 26 or summer 26. Looking good for the spring. I gotta wait for the final course schedule for the spring to be posted in like a couple weeks, my advisor thinks, which is like pretty close to the semester. It's annoying, but anyway, then I'm gonna make sure I can graduate in the spring. And then in between a month and 2 from now, basically, that's crazy, that's really soon, I'm gonna be applying to grad school in a handful of different programs, and I hope to start next fall. And if you don't know, I'm working towards being a therapist, and I'm super excited about it. As someone with AvPD, it's like, yeah, it seems, how can that possibly be a good fit? But it is. If you have AvPD and you're interested in helping people like that, you can do it, you will be good at it. And I'm not the sort of person that feels comfortable bragging about myself and saying that I'm doing well, but man, I've been doing a lot of volunteering at Crisis Text Line and stuff like that in preparation for applying to grad school and all of that, and man, I just love it. I seriously love it. And it's like, it sounds, very cliche, volunteering, but like, it's an amazing experience. It's a perfect fit for me. I feel like I'm genuinely able to help people feel better. I love it. And there's some amount of protocol you have to follow with stuff like this, of course, but there's a good degree of flexibility about how you handle it too. And I really feel like I'm able to connect with people, and it's really awesome. And it's like, it's different than therapy, and it's like, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh my God, am I going to be too stressed out by people who are dealing with crisis situations? But it's like, I've spent a lot of time feeling very suicidal, and no, I actually, the first few conversations or so like that definitely stress me out. But like, I've done it about 140 hours at this point, and I seriously love it, and I feel great about it. And yeah, I'm so excited to become a therapist, and we're making it happen. So yeah, other than crisis text line and the schoolwork itself, I also started volunteering at a local hospital recently. I'm in the dietary department doing rounding, so I go to patients' rooms and interview them about food quality and all of that, and whether people from dietary have been, like interacting with them like they're supposed to and everything. The news is not great, as you might expect, unfortunately, but I'm hoping that we can make some people aware of some changes that need to be made. But in any case, I'm seriously really enjoying that. And I've only done one shift so far, but it went wonderfully, and I have one a week. And yeah, so very mixed feelings after that shift. On one hand, it was like, holy shit, I did this. And on the other hand, it was like, oh my God, I did this. And it's so much pressure and very much imposter syndrome. And like, was I ever anxious in the first place? I could have been doing this 10 years ago when I was rotting in bed. But that's not true. I could not have. I have been growing a lot as a person, thanks to meds, thanks to my wonderful therapist, and a little bit of my own hard work. But I don't want to understate the impact of those things. They are super important. But yeah, it's been really great, and confusing, but great. Terrible, but great. Anyway, random Ollivander references aside. Other than that, social life. I've been going on dates and stuff. Trying to figure that stuff out. I don't know how much that I've really figured out. But overall, I've had pretty good experiences and nothing bad, really. And I even went to a speed dating event in a bar. I've never been in a bar in my life. For those of you that don't know, I do not drink. I didn't think I would ever end up in a bar. I did. No, I still didn't drink, and I'm still not going to. But yeah, I was there for that event, and I felt pretty comfortable with it. I did take an extra dose of my anxiety meds that day, but I actually kind of had a good time. And it's like, I don't know if it was like, yeah, like, I don't know if it gave me much to work with as far as direction on relationships or anything like that, but I actually did have a decent time. So yeah, I've been doing all kind of stuff, I guess. It's like, when I come and talk about it, I'm like, it's not that much. Sometimes I wonder how some of my other videos were so rambly and so long, and it's like, that was my last update video that was an hour and a half. I don't know how I managed that. I genuinely don't. I don't think this one's going to be nearly that long. But, yeah, and it's like, still struggling with depression and all that. It's not like everything has been absolutely perfect. But overall, I'm feeling really good about stuff and maybe even a little bit hopeful. But yeah, definitely when it comes to the stuff I'm working on, to try to, have a professional life, I feel good about that. And we'll figure out the social stuff when we get there. But yeah, other than that, so I want to talk about my study a little bit, because I'm super excited. So I'm not super prepared to talk about it. I'm gonna have to, really get ready for the other video, make sure I do it concisely and don't waste everybody's time. But if you're watching this video, you're probably used to me wasting your time, and I'm sorry about that. But let's get to the point. The study I'm doing is, I wrote an assessment for symptoms of AvPD, more or less, which is designed to help people that have AvPD as well as clinicians understand and potentially figure out how to approach treatment for the disorder. Because, as you probably know, if you've tried to engage in therapy as someone with AvPD, it can be difficult for a lot of reasons, and in a lot of ways it feels like sometimes people don't necessarily really differentiate what you're dealing with as someone with AvPD from other stuff. And just how intense it is and just how specific it can be. And the fact that at its core, it's like, we need to figure out how to change. We already know we need to change. We already know our thought processes are illogical very often. I'm really stressed that people are going to see me this way. I don't actually think they do all the time. But on the off chance, the possibility is really upsetting. And the specific reason for that, more than anything, is that like after you get embarrassed by something you did or said or some way someone reacted to you, you go home and you're just thinking about how that reflects on you as a person, and you just feel really fucking ashamed of yourself. And y'all already know all of that, but the point is, it's really important to me to refine the understanding that people have and the treatments that are available. And so obviously, I have quite a few ideas, but right now what I'm focusing on is a basic, straightforward, relatively speaking, assessment for AvPD symptoms in what I think they really are. From my personal experiences and from talking to at least hundreds of you guys that have AvPD, I admit that I lost count of exactly how many people I've spoken to that also definitely have AvPD. Obviously I have like 3,000 subscribers, but I think it's probably been in the hundreds of people who I've talked to, at least through comments, who also have AvPD. So I have some thoughts about it. So basically, my assessment, it is a self-assessment. In other words, you just enter the answers to the items yourself. All the questions are what's called Likert scales. So basically, how much do I agree with this? You've done them before. Totally disagree, totally agree, and anything in between. And there are like 7 categories. Basically, in total, if you participate in the assessment, it will take maybe 45 minutes. That should be on the high end of an estimation. I think my brother, all told, took maybe like 35 minutes. I think the same was true for my sister, as people were helping me test things out and get some feedback and all of that sort of stuff. So it shouldn't take a super long time, but it's not no time either. And I super appreciate if you want to participate. So like I said, I'll be talking about it more in another video, but basically the idea is I need participants that have, or whether it's diagnosed or you self-identify as having avoidant personality disorder. I want you, for sure. Also, social anxiety disorder and not AvPD. I want you. Also, no disorder. I want you, or neither of those disorders. If I have any viewers that have schizoid personality disorder or identify with having that, I would also really like you. In other words, if you're watching this, I would really like you to participate in my assessment if you would like. Of course, it doesn't cost anything. It does take some time, and when you take the assessment, if you would like, you can volunteer to take it again in a period of about 2 to 3 weeks, which is for establishing a particular form of validity to basically say, when people retake the assessment, not immediately, but not a very long time from now, they get similar scores. And so yeah, all the assessment entails, the whole study participation overall, you're going to, read the details that tell you exactly what the deal is, or not, but read them, at least some of them. And then you're going to answer some demographic questions. And by the way, other than confirming your age, because you need to be over 18 to do this, you don't have to answer any question you don't want to, but please do answer as many as you're comfortable with if you are interested in taking it. Just the more data, the better, of course. And, it's definitely easier to draw results from more complete data. But especially with demographic questions, if there's something you're not comfortable with answering, you can skip it. But I would appreciate it because, again, it really helps to nail down any factors that people might not think about. For example, just anything about the commonality of AvPD in different genders, ethnicities, all that sort of thing, or specific score patterns. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of analysis and writing a paper and trying to get it published as fast as I can, which may not happen, but nonetheless, I can assure you I'm going to write it. And yeah, just the more data, the better. But yeah, and then you're going to take a couple existing assessments. They take minutes, like 2. They're very brief. And those, again, are just for establishing different forms of validity, which is to say there's an anxiety assessment that already exists, and I want you to get kind of a similar score on the anxiety assessment that you get on mine, so that I can say, yeah, it's probably measuring anxiety, since this assessment has been confirmed to be measuring anxiety effectively. And then one assessment that shouldn't measure the same thing, and that there should be no correlation between the scores. Yeah, so that's pretty much the deal. And I guess the one other thing I have to say about it, which again, this is the rambly video. I promise I'm going to make a concise video about it, and that is the one you should be watching if you're actually interested in doing this and you're like, oh my god, why won't this fucking guy get to the point? But I'm looking for at least 260 participants if possible, and basically the more the better. So if you can do it, I super appreciate it. If you know anyone else who might be interested in doing it, doesn't matter what diagnosis they have or identify as having, or none at all, let them know if they might be interested. And so basically what the deal is, I'm going to be posting a link to the study that you can click on. You do it online on your computer whenever you want. And I'll talk about exactly the posting date in the other video because I'm trying to figure that out at this point. I'm indecision about exactly how long I want to announce it before I actually post it, because I want people to feel like they've got warning and like, okay, I'm gonna get into the study, but also not too far in advance so people forget about it and everything. Anyway, all the more specific information about doing it will be there, but more or less, it's not complicated. You're going to click on a link, you're going to click on some buttons. And I super appreciate it because, yeah, it's a project that means a lot to me. It's something that obviously it's a part of my education and all of that, but it's obviously, something I'm very passionate about personally, and I think we deserve to be better understood by the people that treat us, and I hope that's going to include me. And I don't have a flawless understanding of these things, and I want to see how this goes and figure out anything that is not as relevant as I might suppose based off my personal biases even, and figure out what is really the core of it, and yeah, use that to try to help people with AvPD and other disorders too, because like I said, I'm very interested to see how people with social anxiety disorder will score on this, and people with schizoid personality disorder as well. The focus is on AvPD for sure, but it's important to distinguish, like if someone who does not have AvPD takes this assessment, what exactly might that show up like, and what other conclusions can you draw from it that would suggest a different approach, things like that. But yeah, that's enough rambling about my study. I am super excited about it. Please go check out that video if you can spare about 45 minutes to an hour and a half if you want to sign up to do it a second time. And I don't need a ton of people doing that. And if you want to do it just once, it's totally understandable. But I do need some, if possible, and I would super appreciate it. And yeah, of course, when you take the assessment, you will get some degree of your results. I'm not going to try to tell you this does diagnose you with something or it doesn't, obviously, because it's in the research phase. But you'll see some stuff about your scoring patterns, basically. And at some point after the study, one way or another, my conclusions, my paper, my research, all of that will be available somewhere that you can see it. I assure you, it to the best of my ability, it will not be anywhere where it's pay gated and people cannot just see it. And you can also, just let me know if you're personally interested in the results as I'm working on it. And I don't know, maybe we can have a channel on the Discord I can talk about it on or something. I don't want to get too up in the Discord because I haven't been participating in that. That's you guys that, keep that going. And I'm not trying to just jump in there and be like, I'm gonna use this for my personal purposes only. But for people who are really interested in it, one way or another, I will communicate that stuff to you because obviously I'm really passionate about it. And I'm honestly super excited to do the analysis of the results. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like that's about all I have to ramble about in this video. It's kind of insane. It's been like 5 months. And school hasn't been that busy. I mean, honestly, at least where I'm going to school right now, it's not that hard. I feel really good about how it's been going. I am learning. I've been working on plenty of stuff, but it's like, I don't know what to ramble about this time. And I'm in a good mood today. I think that probably helps. I think probably, I don't know, maybe that's not true. I don't rewatch my videos enough to really know, but I think probably to some extent I'm more prone to rambling when it's like really ruminating. And anyway, today I'm feeling pretty good. But I think I've wasted enough of your time with my random shit anyway. But I mean, if anybody has any questions about anything, I will answer comments. I know I've gotten to the point where I don't answer comments. I'm sorry about that, but I do answer comments like right after I post a video. I make sure to go back and answer old comments that I feel like I can say something productive on, even if I've waited too long, and I do apologize. But I also always answer right after I post, and I need to get better about it again. It's just kind of at a point I was like too fixated on it, because I really like talking to you guys, and so I'm just like, I want to interact with somebody else on here, and I was just like, okay, I need to distance a little bit, and I might have taken it a little farther than I had to. We rubber band back and forth sometimes, don't we? But anyway, I hope all of you are doing really well. Let me know, because this is not just about me. I'm just the idiot that's on the camera, and I really like hearing about how your guys' lives are going. It doesn't matter if you have AvPD or not. So you don't have to just say things to me about me. You can say things about you. I like talking to people. Even if I'm not always good at following up all the time. And again, I do apologize. But I think that's enough of my AvPD-ness coming out, just begging for forgiveness about not answering YouTube comments fast enough. I do feel bad. But I need to chill out. But actually, I'm going to be getting to work on my next video about the study and doing some other stuff. I'm trying to convince myself to get out and do more social activities that aren't just trying to go on dates. Just put myself out there. And it's not easy, but Been thinking about trying to teach some casual classes. There's an organization near me that promotes free classes people do, and it's like, obviously you don't have to be any sort of professional, you just talk about stuff. Been thinking about trying to make myself do that. I really want to do a baking class, but kitchen facilities, they're not cheap. And I don't have room in my house to do a baking class, and also people wouldn't really want to come over to my house randomly for the most part. But I have some other ideas too. I could do a programming class. I do still enjoy programming a lot. I don't know why. I've never understood why. I'm kind of a nerd. I've also been thinking about doing some sort of game design class. But again, there's lots of random things to think about there. As far as feeling confident enough to pull it off. I've also been trying to convince myself to join a band in one way or another. My bass has been having problems like more or less since the last time I recorded a bass cover on my channel. I've been wanting to do more of those, but I think something's wrong with my pickups. I don't know. It seems to happen regardless of which pickup it's set to, and so I don't know. I probably need to take it apart and see if there's just something obvious wrong before I like go pay to have pickups replaced or something. But I'm not a guitar tech. I don't want to be. But anyway, when I have the free money, because I have plenty of things to spend money on all the time. Still trying to get my house decorated up, and we've been making some progress on that. I have a cool macrame flower hanging I didn't have. I'm not going to show you that because it's way over there, but I'm going to turn my camera. You see that? That is a very sick clock. And I don't really want to get up and go all the way over there. Maybe I'll put a picture in the description or something. But I love that thing. There's this family, and I think they live in Britain. Wooden Tech or something like that is what their Etsy store is called, and they have a bunch of super awesome clock designs, and that's a replica of the Prague astronomical clock. Obviously a very, very mini version, but it is badass. So we're making some improvements there, but yeah, still lots of plain white wall. And anyway, always things to spend money on. I want to get my bass repaired. I want to try to make myself join a band, but I could also sing. I do really like singing. I'm not sure I have the confidence for that, but I'm trying to make myself like record a vocal reel demo kind of thing and see if anybody in the area wants to suffer that. I don't know. Trying to make myself do stuff. So I could have ranted about that before my study and before I told you I didn't have anything else to rant about, but my brain only works so well, man. I don't know. I have a new album just pulled up on my computer that I've been enjoying, and I'm just like, do I want to rant about music? I'm not gonna do that, but like, if anybody wants to talk about great metal albums that have come out recently, or very not recently, anytime, hit me up. I love music. Yeah, I'm gonna actually stop ranting now and work on my next video and whatever else I'm gonna do today. So yeah, I hope you all are well. Thanks for hanging out here. Talk to you soon, and if you check out that other video very soon. And I would super appreciate if you participate in my study. It really would mean a lot to me if you have some time. And you can tell other people about it too. I'm gonna shut up now. Bye.